my friend, it's Pat Sloan here for Grandma's Kitchen. It is Block Wednesday, the funnest day of the week here at Quilt Along with Pat Sloan, the Sloan Zone. So we have Block 18, which is on the second to the last row of the quilt. So what is Block 18? Our theme is the fridge, because we're talking about the kitchen. And the heart of the home, I think, is the fridge. The heart of the kitchen. Heart of the kitchen is the fridge. So it is a block of squares. For those of you who want all squares, yay! And I just set them side by side, which I think we did as a quilt along. We did this pattern like this a couple years back. I had done it in all blues with a white background, sent it to my brother for his birthday. Okay, so what about the fridge? My half a modern grandma, she had a very old fridge, and I tell you about that here. But the old fridge, and they had stories about the ice being delivered for the fridge and that kind of a thing. My other grandma really liked to have the more modern stuff, so she had a more modern fridge. But I always found the fridge, sometimes you might have, you might remember your fondly like the stove for cooking or whatever. But for my family and for me, for some reason, it's the fridge. It's you would just be magical to go look and see what Nana had in the fridge or what Granny had in the fridge, just to check it out, see what was in there. And I just felt that it was that was the thing. That was the thing when we came to visit. Like, what did they have in there for us? Did they have treats? Like good, yummy stuff? And because Granny, my more modern grandma, she worked for a meat packing company, meats, cheeses, and so she always had loads of really nice lunch meats and cheeses, sliced cheeses. There was always this large variety of them, all wrapped in the butcher paper. So I just have all these fond memories of that. So first of all, I am going to talk today about the setting, and I am going to do the setting, and it's in progress there, but I'm going to show you some little clips when I was going through what I was going to do, and I'm actually going to sew that and the row that this goes in, pick some fabrics for that, as much sashing as I can. But what color? Okay, what color? Now there is, originally I thought red, because I thought, well, the reds are like the dress and the block next to it. There, I'm trying to do on the monitor. There's a little bit red in the peppermints, of course. There's some red over here. There isn't like a big chunk of red except for that dress. So I was thinking red. Let me just show you what I'm kind of mulling over. I'm not sure that I really want to do this though, because the thing is, the red is quite bold. Like when I do a cross or plus sign in this red, it is going to be this kind of a large chunk. Even though the squares are 2.5, it won't be like a large chunk like you see this. But let's say I'm going to just audition, because these are all the reds. These are all the reds that I've been working with. But let me just take a strip, and I'm going to put it on the pink. I want to put it on the pink. But if I had this folded to 2 inches, let's just see. This is what you can do as well if you want to try the color. So I will have the 2 inches of red like this, and then, but they'll be squares, and then have the 2 inches of red, across. Maybe it's not too bad because it'll be chopped up with a bunch of different colors. I was a little, I'm like thinking, maybe it's just too intense, because the red dress is the biggest kind of chunk of red over there. And then it is right next to some other red. So I'm just thinking that red plus might be too much. I kind of want it to be all one color with multiple fabrics versus multiple colors. That's just how my brain is going, because of there being so many colors in the fabrics, so many variety of colors for my quilt anyways. I don't want to take another block and have it all chopped into so many colors that I lose the effect of the plus. So what is that plus? I do tell you in the pattern here. Do you remember the metal ice cube trays in the freezer, like the metal ice cube trays? That was kind of my thought when I did this, that it reminded me of the metal ice cube trays. I don't do too many things that are like, a thought like that. But that one did come to me when I was designing it way back. Okay, so the other thing I thought was I could do these in the aquas, both the dark and the light, so that, like here, so that it's not quite as big of a, it's kind of dense. It's not as dark. See how the difference? See the huge difference in how dark this one looks? Like if you took a black and white photo of this grouping and this grouping, this would definitely, I mean, it just looks darker on the video. So I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and do it in the aquas and the light and dark, and then leave the red for possibly, yeah, maybe the next block I'll have red, or the block, and then a block down below, but not in such a big amount of it. All right, so that being said, what do my aquas look like? What do I have? I have light and dark. Oh, so this is a dupe, so we'll get rid of that. So how many do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you gotta, kind of spread them around. So 7, and I need to cut 20 total. So I tell you to do 10 and 10, 10 light, 10 dark. So that means 20 total. I am going to cut some of these up and then lay them out and see if I need to go grab some more variety, if I need to grab another couple, or if this is going to be enough. I decided maybe I want another bit of variety, so I found this teal, which is a little darker, but it does have some orange in it, which is kind of fun. Now those do read a little bit darker there. So, oh, wait a minute. This has got to go like that. What the holy heck? Had those messed up. Okay, alternating. This one is a nice piece in here because it's not quite so dark, but now I'm thinking maybe these are too dark. So if they are too dark, then I would probably maybe do something like this. So I'd already had those cut. Put those in. Yeah, I think this one ended up being, I think these were just too dark, unless I did a whole bunch more of them, like they were like the alternate or something, and I don't really want to do that. So, okay, so that will go back in the stash. All right, so we're back to this. I think that's good. It sprinkles them around. There's not too many, there's nothing clumped up together. I just maybe need to move, let's see, maybe move those two. There we go. So these two patterns, although these two, they're light, so I don't mind them so much being across, although I could do this. I could do that. There we go. So I don't think anything then touches each other. They're all different. Okay, and I cut, I think, 3 from each piece, so I ended up with a few extras. All right, I'm going to sew it. I decided it needed another piece of this, and I rearranged a couple of things, and I probably could have done a bit more rearranging, but I needed to fish or cut bait. Get it done. So I like it. I am happy. It is not so intense as the red would be. I think the red was just a little bit too much to have this much red block. So this is super good. I love it. Before we go up there, a couple other things before we go look at the layout and see it on the wall is, remember, the May calendar is out. If you missed my video yesterday, somehow you didn't watch it. The May calendar is out. The first page shows what's going on for each day and kind of like the celebrations, and then the projects. So current projects, ongoing projects, the tiny secrets, the one from the half a yard book, that quilt along, the kits are not ready yet. So I put it at the very end of the month. Kits should be done and shipped, and we can all get sewing together on that. And the Make-A-Wish is coming on May 2nd, so that is right around the corner, just a couple of days. So be sure you download this. It is on the same page as you're going to get the pattern. So I have it there, plus on the calendar page at my I Love to Make Quilts. You can always just go there and get it. It's been there for a few days. Okay, another thing, I had some sweet mail, some very, very sweet mail from a group of friends. So this is the card, and it comes from Linda, Shirley, and Christine in Colorado. And they are a sewing group, I think a lot of other people, and they were out and about and saw some things that made them think of me, which I am just always immensely honored that that you will be out and about and think of me. I think that is, you are just so, so incredible. So what did they find? They found me some Plant Lady fabric. Look at this. Isn't that darling? I love it. And then, you know, I like the novelty prints. So we have some cows and some super cute sheep. Their hair gets me on top of their head, right? It looks like bed head. They just woke up. And then, this darling plushie. These things are so soft. And he even has, he's got a hanger. Oh my gosh. So adorable. So, so adorable. Mwah, mwah. Thank you for thinking of me with these very adorable items. I love them. Okay. I am going to segue first. Before I put the block up there, let me show you what I did to look at the fabric layout, the fabric placement for the sashings. I'm on the top row there. That is the 4th row. We're on page 2. And if you have forgotten that the layout was with your supply list, so if you, supply list, layout and supply list, it said right away. So I know some of you forgot that. That's where it is. Okay, so what colors do we got going on here? Remember, I'm trying to use mostly lavenders and the whites. And so, yeah, so I just need to pick pieces that are a little different than what's already up there. So I have a checkerboard to do just to the right of the green block there, checkerboard, and that's the predominant checkerboard, and then there's stripes underneath the coins. So those are the predominant ones for this. Let me just see what we have. The checkerboard below is kind of right underneath it, so I am going to use the same fabrics, all 3 of those fabrics. It is not as wide, it's only 2 wide, so let me show you what I came up with. Here it is. Here's the placement of that. I decided to just do pairs like this rather than, I mean, I don't have enough to alter 2, but I want to do the same 2 as the row above. I think this looks great. I think this looks great, just alternating like that. So there we go, got to sew them up. Here is everything from a distance. Now I have not sewn any of that on, and I won't sew it on for this video. I'll have it all sewn for next week, and I'm not going to pick the ones for this row today because I'm out of steam for that. But let me show you where things are and a few other thoughts that I have. I've got this great funky stripe down there that's now it's in 3 places, so I'm happy with that. No, it's in 2 places, there and up here. And so I will get it in a 3rd place, maybe on this row I'm working on, or definitely on the row below. This little checkerboards, this actually will line up almost under those next to it. I also have some other checkerboards down here, and I believe I will go ahead and repeat this fabric for another set of the checkerboards. There's no more friendship stars, they're all done now. The only thing that I'm mentally debating is, and I'm not going to take it out, but I might add something on here because that fabric reads more solid than I wanted it to read. You know, like I know it reads solid, and after it's all in, it's a little too solid for me. So I'm thinking I might just applique some dots on there, right across there with some other, maybe like with aqua or something like that. I don't know. Maybe some red dots, maybe not red, maybe peach, maybe something like the orangey peach like on here, something like that. The other thing is I did rotate that attic window, so my attic window is slightly rotated, which is not a big problem. Also, my checkerboard is a little different because I think the pattern shows dark than light, but it doesn't really matter. So there's things like that it does not matter. If you do yours like I'm doing mine, fine. If you do it like the pattern, fine. If you find some other way of your own, fine. None of that matters. So just don't get too hung up on all of that. Okay, cool. This looks really good. That looks really good there. Getting those setting colors is really a lot of fun. I enjoy that part a lot, and the lavender here is looking super, super good. Okay, we are going to go and do the parade from last week's block, which was the pantry block. Let's go. We start off with Anna's block, and she said her grandma had a big garden and canned veggies and fruits, and Anna's favorite was the corn relish and the chow chow. I love hearing some of the things. Like, I haven't heard chow chow for a long time. And if you know what that is, leave me a comment here. If you don't know what it is, leave a comment and somebody will tell you. Carrie's block. Oh, look how pretty this is with all the kitchen fabrics. Her grandma had a large kitchen that had a pantry, and she said the kids were, sent to fetch things from the pantry while grandma was cooking, and the basement had a cellar. There they are all together. Oh, they're looking gorgeous. Good job. Deborah's grandma had a basement full of rows of purchased canned goods. She didn't can them herself, but she always kept everything to have on hand. And here's all her blocks together. They look fantastic. Look at the green that she's using for the checkerboards. Oh, looks so good. There is, for some reason, a lot of green I selected for this today. I don't know whether a lot of you did green for a pantry. Diane's in green, pretty in green. I love that lattice around it. She said her mom had a walk-in pantry before they were popular. So see, there you go. There you go. Things just come around again, don't they? When things are popular, they just come around again. Donna's block, her grandma canned bread and butter pickles, which were her favorite. She also canned other things, but they were Donna's favorite, and they're all together looking so good. Now you can tell some people like the setting here, they're doing the 12 by 12s, and some are doing my layout. Itana's block is gorgeous. Look at the fussy cutting houses in the corners. That is so darling. So darling. Helga, she said there was a great story. It was a long story. You'll have to go and read it. But the synopsis of one part was that she had great memories for the pantry, and the dog biscuits were something that her dad kept for the dogs next door. But her brother would occasionally get in there and eat them as cookies. What kid hasn't eaten dog cookies and dog food? Believe me, dog food too. Here is Janet's block. Look at that fussy cut sashing. Look at that. Way to go. She says her grandma had a basement full of canned goods, including a big crock of grape wine jelly. So I don't know if I got this down right, but there you can see on her featherweight there's a crock of jelly. And I'm not sure, maybe her dad who's doing the jelly. I can't remember. Janet, you can leave a comment here at YouTube and let us know. Karen, oh, this is so pretty. So pretty. That teal, that dark teal and red. Her grandpa, she said, would have stocked the pantry with only birdseed because he loved his chickadees. Here is Kendall's block. Now, Kendall is my buddy. He has a YouTube channel here, and he sews my blocks on his YouTube channel each week, plus his own videos. So be sure you go check them out. And he's using this line of dots for his whole quilt. It is so cool. You got to see it. Laura's beautiful pink and blue block. Oh, I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, here's Linda's block. She said her grandma carried they have a picture of her grandma carrying a turkey in a turkey roasting pan like that. Great memories, great memories. Linda's block is so pretty, and she's got the little bonus, setting friendship stars. We had to do a couple sets of those, and all her blocks together. Oh, look how good that looks. So fantastic. Here is Lorraine's block, pretty with yellow. Oh, I love the yellow. And that looks like green. I'm not sure if it's green or if it's like a dark turquoise because of my monitor, but it looks green. Here is Pat's block, and she had a super lovely story. And there was quite a bit, so you have to go read it. But the one part that I wrote down was, see the little things that look like spoons in all the 4 sections? She said because there was a cloth holding Grandma's fine silverware, and that she was fascinated with that. You know, the pretty cloth with all the silverware wrapped up inside. So love the stories. Love when you have stories. Here is Patricia's block. Her grandma had a cottage that was the pantry, like a separate cottage. And it had no power, no water, but there was an antique ice box. Like, oh my goodness, who else wants a little cottage now? Now I want a cottage. Here is Patty's gorgeous block, and she rotated her 4 corners to make a circle. So cool. Love the purples. Susan's doing Iowa, because her grandma's was from Iowa, and so there's Iowa corn, Iowa fabric, and we've seen her block, one of her other blocks that had some Iowa stuff in it. So fun. I love that. It's so good to bring all those memories in. There's also farm animals up there. My friend Suzanne, who is also the ambassador here, she said her grandma retired and started to grow things and grow things and freeze them. So she had a lot of string beans and Swiss chard. So like I don't know that I've ever eaten Swiss chard. So tell us how you all eat Swiss chard. I want to know. And a different Suzanne, she said she used to play grocery store in her grandma's cellar with the pantry shelves. Isn't that fun? Like, when you were a kid, you played stuff like that. So cool. And we're going to wrap it up with Teresa's block. And she said her grandma had a cellar door that was in the floor, the kitchen floor. So the kitchen floor, you pulled up the linoleum, and there was a cellar door that went down where there was canned goods and apples and persimmons. So again, how do you eat persimmons? I don't know if I've ever eaten one. I want to know. Thank you, everybody. I love the pantry stories. They are so awesome. It is just always so delightful to not just see your blocks, because that's really amazing, but when we have a theme and you share something personal or something about your family or how you feel, that is just always so awesome that you share with the community, because that's what makes it fun, is to have that sense of being together. And a lot of people then will comment about whether their family did that too, or gosh, they saw that, but their friend did it, whatever. But that's always a lot of fun. Okay, here we go. This is the block for the week, the fridge block. I can't wait to see yours. Be sure to tell me a bit about whether the fridge is the heart of the kitchen at your grandma's, your mom's, or your home. So I love you. Mwah. Thank you for being here in the Sloan Zone. I will see you online.